Hey, yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Chris and David podcast. Here we are with another little special episode. Normally we have guests on this one, we don't. But let's go ahead and tell them why we here, David.
We're having a little interesting podcast. I don't know if it's a crazy world. So I just had a kid about 2 weeks ago. Well, actually 10 days ago. Um,
10.
10 days ago. It's crazy.
10.
Life changing experience for
Oh,
me.
man, 10 days
You
ago.
know, 10 days.
Yeah.
I've been a dad for 10 days.
Oh, shit, that's a big change, y'all. So,
It's a big
so we're
change.
giving you an exclusive right now. These are some real first-hand impressions on how David's going to be feeling as a father and everything. So let's go ahead and start it off since we're going to kind of interview you, David. So how was it like? How did your girl go up to you and be like, hey, like, my shit broke, bro? Or, like, how did it happen?
She was actually
Set the scene.
she was pretty casual. So I was asleep. We were sleeping. And I had to get to work. I had to go to work around 5 in the morning. But I felt I was dead asleep, but I could felt someone kind of being restless
Yeah.
next to me. And then I wake
And you
up
was
to get
kicking. You were like,
nah,
man, you're like, I'm
nah,
trying to get my sleep. I gotta work.
nah. So she like wakes up because she's like, well, she was obviously like a restless sleep, but
Yeah.
she wakes me up because it's time to go to work for me to get ready for work at like 5 a.m. And she tells me like, I think Killian's coming today. And I was like, oh really? I was like, you feeling the contraptions? And she goes, I think so, but I don't know if they're contraptions. So I was like, you sure? Because she had an actual appointment that day at 2 o'clock. So I was gonna get off work and then go straight to the appointment because they might have induced her that day
Mhm.
because his due date was that day.
So you were still going to work.
I went to work. I actually went to work out whatever I needed, and she was seemed normal. So it's around like I want to say 8 or 8:30, 8:45. I'm just starting off my day. I'm working. I'm going to a job site with my coworker, and we're gonna do some work. And then she texts me, "Oh, I think my water broke." And I was like, and she
You're
called
like,
her. I
check
called her,
again.
and I was like, "Hey, your water broke?" She goes, "I think, but it doesn't feel like it because it doesn't hurt."
Yeah. She just felt like a big old puddle underneath.
Like
So maybe.
no, she was showering. She just saw like fluid.
Oh,
Like it was
okay,
just
okay.
didn't look weird.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
water off the shower.
Yeah.
So she went. Her mom was like, "Yo, like we need to take you to the doctor once your water broke, cause
Yeah,
that's
at
a
that
sign,
point, yeah.
definitely a sign." And so they took her to Kaiser. She still wasn't in, so I met her there. I told my coworker, my boss actually, not my coworker, told my boss like, "Yo, I gotta, her water broke, so I gotta get out." So I left. We got there. And now I got there around like 10:30, 10:45 around there. So we walked her. I guess she was already called Kaiser. They already had a room, and they're already expecting her to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as we got there, they put her.
VIP service. I feel it. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it was VIP service.
Yeah,
Felt like it.
yeah. All right.
Necessary. I don't. Not
Mhm.
really.
Nah.
They treat the women
Look,
when
look.
labor with VIP, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll get to that later. But we get there. They walk like Eric. Like we have to ring the doorbell because they're very very strict.
I would imagine right now with all the COVID
The
bullshit. and
COVID
everything,
bullshit.
yeah.
I mean, that shit went out the window with the protests. We'll talk about that later too.
Mhm.
Well, anyways, and we get there. Like, I think 11 o'clock, and they take her in. They're doing all the measurement. They check on her. The midwife, and the midwife is like, well, you're like 2.5 centimeters
Yeah,
dilated. And they
that's-
were like, technically, she was like, since your water broke, we're gonna have to keep you. Usually, if you're dilating, your water hasn't broke, and you're at 2.5, we sent you home.
Mhm.
So because her water broke, there's a high chance of her catching an
Yeah.
infection.
Yeah.
So the midwife was like, we're gonna have to keep you here and then monitor you because I guess he pooped while he was in the womb, so he might have ate some of his poo.
Mhm.
So they kept him, and then so they put us in a room. They checked her vitals. They checked her information. Fucking funny note, like the lady that was taking all her information for insurance bullshit
Mhm.
was like, so is your husband there, or let me guess, baby daddy, with a strong Filipino accent.
Like, baby daddy.
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. Anyways, so we get to the room, and she's starting to feel the contraptions, but they're not consistent. Like when like it's getting ready, usually they're got to be like every 2 minutes. No, they're like every 20 minutes contractions. She said they're not as bad. She's on the medicine ball and this and that. So, but later throughout the night, it's actually more like a little bit complicated, like a little harder, but like not the way it's supposed to be. So she falls asleep. We both fall asleep, and at like, randomly like at 10:30, fucking like five nurses like come in rushing like we gotta deliver, and we're tripping balls. Like you get woken up
Yeah. Out the
like
middle of your sleep and
sleep,
shit and
sleep, and we're
everything.
both, and they're like, we gotta deliver, we can't feel our like they
You
can't
didn't
find
even
us.
know if he was dreaming or not. You're like, what? What the fuck?
I was just scared because I didn't know what the fuck legit was going on because they were like, we lost his heart rate, we lost his heart rate. So they were gonna do like if they couldn't get his heart rate, they were gonna do a emergency section.
Yeah.
Because the nurse was like, we have to deliver, we have to emergency delivery. So the midwife gets there, and then they get these like random ass shit. They put it inside her to put it on his head to monitor his fucking heart rate. They wait 20 minutes to see if his heart rate is not going down. Everything, I guess it's all normal. Because I guess he was pulling on his umbilical cord and shit, and we could lose the baby like that. So time goes by. It's like 5 a.m. and actually after they did all that, they actually told her, well, you know what, this birth is taking too long. You should be already been dilated at 5 or 6. You've been here almost 10 hours. This is your body's not doing what's supposed to be doing. So she was like, we're gonna have to speed this process up because you're just gonna give a dry birth. So they get inducer and they induce her, and then that's when the actual contractions start being like every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes.
Start feeling that shit.
Start feeling. Oh, dude.
She was looking at you like, motherfucking David.
Yeah, she was. I felt her pain. I felt so bad because she was like couldn't sleep, couldn't rest. She was throwing up because, I think the medication was making her drowsy. Those were like one of the side effects. So she was very drowsy. So kept throwing up. We had a shitty ass nurse. Like she was like being an ass to her, like, cause she was like, I don't feel good, like laying down, like I'm gonna throw up, I have strong ass heartburn, and the nurse was like, it's fine, we can't do that. So like, I guess the other nurses started noticing that she was kind of a bitch, so they took her out and they put another nurse, and she ended up throwing up again.
Was she a cute bitch or not? Because usually when they're cute bitches, they got a reason to be a bitch.
No, she was an old ass Asian lady.
Nah,
fucking question is that? Asking like, was she cute? Like I'm checking them out while my girl was giving birth. No, but she was a old ass lady.
I was just asking, because usually when they're cute, they could be bitches. Like, that was my assumption. I had to clarify that.
I hope she don't get mad at me when I say this, but the one that came after was cute and very sweet. Okay. So, so that little theory was, is that the answer you wanted? But it wasn't like. I just, it was like, and then she had a face mask. She could have fucked up teeth like me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? She could have a mustache, but she sounded like she looked cute. So, back to my conversation. Right. I don't know why you're throwing these type of questions. Like, I didn't even have time to check out these. Like,
I was just asking,
because
you said she was rude, so I wanted to get the impression of what caused.
What is a fucking rude?
Like, why was she rude? Like,
she's old.
Oh, so she's mad at life then?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm assuming. So, anyways.
Okay.
Back to my conversation. So
they're bringing a new nurse.
So they're bringing a new nurse. She's very nice. She's very patient with Erica and everything.
Can we give this nurse a name?
I don't remember.
Let's give her a name.
I think her name was Joyce, actually.
Okay, let's call Nurse Joyce. All right.
No. Pokemon Joyce. Now that I think about all the nurses are nurse Joyce. Yeah. So funny. Yeah, her name was Joyce.
All right.
And then there was another one. I kind of remember all their names because after that we had the best nurses, like the best. They were cool. So anyway, so she was very patient with her. So she went to the bathroom. I guess she felt more comfortable sitting down, but her contraction getting worse, and she couldn't handle it because she wasn't sleeping, she wasn't resting, she wasn't eating. So like, I just see it in her face. Like I can't do anything about her, and like in my mind, I'm like, fuck. I think this is probably the only kid we're gonna have because at this point, it's like.
You see that type of pain that is
the pain, like yeah, dude, like it's just, and I was like, I looked at him, I was like, you're a real true warrior, cause me, I'd be a bitch.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to handle that.
I don't think I would have handled.
So you wouldn't have done as well. You don't think you would have been able to grip onto that world and just onto the side of that bed and just be like, here it comes. Just,
Well, anyway, so like at the moment, like all these nurses, they were like telling her like. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. Obviously, like it's the truth. They're gonna the contractions are gonna get worse. It's gonna be more painful. You're not taking any drugs, obviously. No, so she's like kind of getting discouraged, and they're like pushing her to get the epidural, like, It wasn't like
Yeah, they wanted her to not feel the pain.
yeah, which, you know, because she felt discouraged because the nurses were telling her it's gonna get worse. So she got like very discouraged. She felt like a wimp because she did not want to take no drugs. She just wanted to do it fucking naturally, and I don't know. She's a planner, so she really thought like she planned her birth. She thought it was gonna be as it planned as it was supposed to be, and it was like.
So why did she want to go natural? Like I feel
I just
like
think she just wanted no harm for the baby, but in
baseball is better with performance enhancing drugs, and I feel like
what does
pregnancy
baseball?
is the same. Like I feel like
Yeah.
they should have to have those performance enhanced drugs. Like natural, yeah, it's fine. They'll put up their little records.
Yeah, but they're
and
breaking
this
records.
and
This is
that.
giving birth. There's
Yeah,
a
that's
there's
what I'm
this
talking
complete.
about breaking records out
I like
here,
how your
but
analogy
we're
like
bringing-
complete way off.
we're bringing people into this world. You feel me? They're getting more hits out there.
Okay,
That's what it is.
we're bringing record playing fucking breaking kids and shit.
Yeah.
Unless you're giving birth to a big ass kid, then I'm like, that's a record.
Well, yeah. So.
So, anyways, great analogy and very good, I guess, comparison. But so, like, she felt like a wimp. Like, she was like, that's what she said she felt. And I was like, you're good. Like, you know what? To tell you the truth, you might as well just take the epidural, because you need to rest. You still got to push out a baby, so you're gonna waste hella energy. You might as well get that sleep. So I'm hella nervous, like I'm shaking, you know, like I'm fucking like, you know, I can't do anything about it. Besides, she's just squeezing the shit out of my hands, dude. That shit fucking hurt.
Did you offer to get an epidural also?
No,
No.
it would be on my insurance.
Yeah.
No, I did not charge. Why do I need to get an epidural?
Just because, like, you would have been able to be like, I'm rocking this with you. Like, we gonna do this together.
I don't. What do you mean, dude? I probably can't even stand up to help her out. Like, why would I need that?
I was just saying, you want to be there for her in every moment possible. You know?
Yeah,
like,
but I want to.
What if they ask?
I want to
her,
be
like,
standing
yo,
up and helping her push, not fucking laying on the bed next to her, like fucking useless, dude.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I could do, like legit, was just probably encourage her from the bed. Like my legs are numb, babe, but sorry, you know.
We got this epidural.
You got that. We took the epidural together. We took that big ass needle. Well, anyways, she finally gave in, like getting the epidural, and I was like, you know, and the doctor, the anesthetician, like anesthetic fucking dude comes up and he's like, get the fuck out. He's like, you gotta leave.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. So I came out. I'm like fucking nervous. I'm like, I'll call her sister. Hey, she's about to get the epidural. And speed up the process. I guess to speed up the process, this is what's going on. I explained because her mom was very, very concerned and worried about her and the baby because it was long ass labor.
Yeah.
So I get back. They call me in. Like, you can come in. Get there. She's knocked out. Kato, relax. So I was like, fuck. All right, finally, I could get some sleep.
That moment of her body finally being able to relax.
Yeah,
man.
dude,
You gotta
she
feel
was-
like she was rocking out that pain the whole time.
Dude, she
And like finally to be able to not feel it for a second, your body
Yeah.
was like, I need to recover. I'm knocking out real quick.
Yeah.
Boom.
So she laid. It was like fucking 6 o'clock, I think. And we fucking finally knocked out. Then like at 9 o'clock, the nurse comes out. Oh, she's fully dilated. She's fully dilated. She's ready to go. She's ready to go. So they bring all the midwives. She brings her interest stuff, and then she has her do these like pre-push, like. So I'm
Just
like
like getting
holding,
ready
yeah.
to,
So I'm
like-
holding her like hand. I'm like, you could do it. She goes like teaching her how to push. Yeah, not yet. It gets there. It gets pretty impressive. Yeah, kind of. With more hair though. So
Yeah.
it's like about 9:20. So now she's like, the nurse is like, you're getting ready. This is gonna be the longest part because the baby has to go through the pelvic, I guess, to get out to the canal.
Yeah.
So we're helping her push. I have her legs. And the nurse has her legs, so we're pushing back, and she does
Whoa.
like 2 pushes.
That's intense. Yeah, you got the leg up?
Yeah, I had her right leg. So she does 2 pushes. In 2 pushes, I just see a head, like just the hair. It wasn't her hair. It was his hair.
Yeah, you were like, whoa, that wasn't there before.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like a little cono,
Yeah.
like a cone.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, you gotta look, like when you told me when we went to your house about, like, you gotta watch this shit. You gotta get fucking mentally scarred. I'm like,
You gotta get
fuck.
into it.
Yeah, you gotta get into. Yeah,
You gotta remember it.
yeah. I clearly remember that. I mean, you know what I'm saying, but
I think I
it wasn't
prepared
like it
you.
scarred me. Like I thought it was.
prepared you. If you had just went in dry, not even
Yeah.
thinking anything though, like at a younger age, just seeing that.
Yeah, dude, my brother Hector said he was scarred. He was like, "What the?" He said he cannot ever look at it the same. He was just like, "What the fuck?" Like a little alien. He said that you can picture this kid an alien. But anyways, I get 2 pushes, this fucker's out. Like, almost
The
out.
whole head.
But no, not the head, just the cone.
Okay.
So she does another 2 more
see the 2
pushes.
cones, okay.
Yeah, so she pushes out, goes
Okay,
out,
so
and then now he's out his nose. That was his nose. The midwife comes. The midwife was, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, I never seen. It was my first time seeing a fucking kid come out stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. So she goes, grabs her finger. I'm fucking dude. She's probably gonna hate me just how detailed this shit is. Puts it down. Didn't even have to use no instruments to pull him out. Doesn't within 5, but I think it was 4 or 6 pushes.
Yeah.
I just see his shoulder.
The shoulder all the way to the shoulder.
Shoulder, bro. They yank him
from nose to shoulder.
Yeah, like in 3 pushes, bro. 20-minute birth, dude. Like
That's a lot. That is a lot.
that was pretty quick.
Yeah.
The nurse was like, "God damn! It usually takes 2 hours for them to even get to past the pelvic area." So once he's out, just seeing him popped out. I'm like, that long ass baby came out of her. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know. And then it was crazy. Like, just seeing his eyes just like coming to the new world. It was like, oh shit! Like I've never. It's an amazing feeling. Like just like this little creature just.
So
Like,
right away he pops out.
his eyes
And
are open.
then
They had to like
the
spank
port-
him a little bit to cry.
Yeah,
He wasn't even crying, dude.
Man, it's been so long since I had a kid. But like
Like
when you
10 years
go-
ago.
And then, so I forget if they give the baby immediately to the mother before cutting the umbilical cord.
Mm-mm.
So
They give it to.
clean it out first.
They clean him up.
Yeah,
They
clean
give
it
him to
out.
the mom
Yeah.
for
But then
skin to skin contact. So, well, you could request. So you want to wait until I guess there's a certain thing you could wait. I guess it's better for the baby, and she put it on her birth plan that she wants to wait a little bit. Like I think it's like 5 minutes. Then I could cut the umbilical cord.
So
and
she was still connected at that point.
She was still
okay.
connected to. I guess it's like
Yeah.
more healthier for the baby. I don't remember what it was. You know, you can hit a comment on
So
on
then-
her profile and let us know.
So then after that, then the little bag comes out.
Oh yeah, the bag. So after, I first had to cut the fucking umbilical cord. His umbilical cord. So he goes, "Daddy, you want to cut it?" Cut it. Then like they give me the baby, and I'm like, never hold a newborn or an infant.
This is
Ever.
literally
First time.
less than a minute's born.
Yeah, I'm holding him. I happen to look, and then she's like, "You gotta push now, 'cause you gotta get the placenta out." And then it comes out quick, and
What size was the placenta?
I want to say like this big,
Like a football, like an NFL football,
a little bit bigger than a football.
like a Australian league football,
Yeah, kind of like
a
that.
rugby ball.
Yeah,
a
somewhere like a rugby ball.
That's a big ass.
He's a big ass kid, dude. He's 21 inches.
Yeah.
That's a long ass kid. Not heavy, but he's long. Cause he fits to 3 months now. Like onesies, where it's like a full ounce. He don't fit into like a newborn. We have to give him 3 months because he's so long.
Yeah, Giovanni was 22,
Cool.
7'7", and then Lil Chris was 21 and 7'11". Yeah,
Both of your kids are tall though.
I
How tall is
feel like
Giovanni
they're
now?
I don't know. And I have to.
When is it?
I
When?
mean, how long ago? That was like almost a year ago. That I
Oh
seen
yeah,
him.
because they do grow
And
fast.
How big
after-
was he in that?
Was he taller than you, Riddell?
Like 5'4", 5'3", 5'4".
That's still
maybe?
tall, dude. And then little Chris, little Chris looks like he's maybe because he's slender.
Not Gabe's taller than Chris.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But he's-
definitely a lot.
But I think he's
skinnier.
gonna be tall though, cause his mom's tall. You're tall.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's all irrelevant until, I feel like only people, like, once you become an adult, only when you're taller than 6'2", that's when you're really tall, so, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily make a difference in life until you
Yeah,
get
it
taller.
doesn't really, unless you're an athlete or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, yeah. So he was long ass kid. So yeah, I saw with the placenta. I was just like, God damn, that's just nasty. It's like bluish, and they told her, "Do you want to see your placenta?" She was like, "What the fuck? No, like."
So she don't want to see it?
No, but I was like, "Yeah, I'll see that shit. Like, let me see that." She pulls it out. I was like, oh shit, that's fucking random.
Chopped it up and everything.
Nah. So I heard some people eat that shit. It's disgusting.
It's up to you, man. I don't know if you want to make.
I heard
tacos
that shit. I don't
al
know what culture that is,
placenta.
but fuck.
Tacos al placenta.
No mames.
Yeah.
No mames. It look like the ones when they cook the pinche carnitas, you know what I'm saying? La tabla. You ever seen that?
That's on you, and they use
No, cool.
umbilical cord as tripas.
His umbilical cord like fucking already falls, so
It fell off already?
yeah.
So did you guys keep it and all that
Fuck
shit? Or?
no. She didn't keep it. She's like,
Like,
She was like, that's white people shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like a lot of Mexicans do too, but yeah, it might be white people. I don't know. Well, yeah, I was just
Is
asking.
your
I don't know. Maybe
Does
my
your-
baby moms have kept them and stuff. I didn't keep any of that stuff.
I mean, I think she did, but I'm pretty sure she didn't. She doesn't. She just takes a lot of photos, and we take a lot of photos. And yesterday, he met his cousin Layla, which was pretty funny and cute at the same time. Two babies seeing. I guess that was like her second baby meeting. I guess he met your neighbor's kid
Mm-hmm.
for the first time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm seeing you guys change. I'm seeing you guys are finally going through these changes and seeing the difficulties of being a parent and not seeing that things are that great on the other side.
Well, I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm gonna be complaining about like the tired, but like other than that, it's such an amazing feeling, you know. Like I don't mind changing his diaper. Like he be laying bombs on me, like he doesn't do it to his mom, but he sure does it to me. I'm like, dude, you're such a little dildo right now, but. Like it's an amazing, like every time I look at him, I'm like, dude, you're such an adorable kid, you know. Like it's just, you know, right now it's like it's right now we're, you know, obviously it's not easy as it seems because we're still trying to adapt to his routine and we're on his time at the moment, you know. As he gets older, obviously, you know, it seems like, you know.
So you made that with your dick? Is that way you look at him? You're like, look, that shit came out of me. Like I did that.
Yeah, bro, he came out of my balls, not on my dick, but I mean, he swam out of my penis. But
canal, yeah.
I wonder if he hears this shit when he's older. He's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are my dad and my uncle talking about?
It's like, yo, he did that. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's amazing feeling, especially like we're not like it's not like it's cool, you know. Like the only thing that's kind of like, you know, it's tiring is like, fuck, everybody wants to see the baby, and with this corona bullshit, you know, like every weekend we have people coming over. I'm like, fuck, well, like.
So you don't want to give him like a trendy middle name, like you didn't want to give him COVID-19 as a middle name. Nah, you don't want something trendy.
Nah, it's stupid as fuck.
Okay.
Why do I want to fucking give him something that people are gonna be like, yo,
Remember that time and day.
like, oh, I lost my job because of that fucking virus. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Yeah.
kind of fucking. No, I don't want to put that on him.
All right.
I was shooting for Shaq
Shaq.
because Martin's kid's Kobe. I was like, Kobe and Shaq, but then she was like, you can name your dog that. So I was like, all right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just shooting my shot. It wasn't like guaranteed a fucking name. Like, yo. But I ended up naming him after Kylian Mbappe.
Mm-hmm.
So
Spelled a little differently.
it was spelled different, yeah. Well, we had a little debate, and she looked at it from a teacher standpoint. Like, she doesn't want a teacher just butchering it, because if you really spell it, it's Kylan. Like, if you really look at it, the KY. So she was like, no, might as well just do it the way it's spelled. So I was like, all right, it's cool. At least we agree on a name. I threw in Anakin. You know, I threw in some random unique names.
You definitely wanted to go with the Star Wars name and stuff.
I
like
wanted
that.
to, because I've never met. Everybody names a kid Luke or Leia. You know?
Leia's a nice name.
It
But-
is.
But Luke is like a regular white ass name.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's why I was like, nah.
Luke
But
Walker.
Anakin is cool, though. Like, I was
Anakin-
shooting for Kylo, too. Like, just Kylo. But whatever.
Yeah. Kylo would be cool.
I like any nickname you could shorten. I like a long name that you could always like. That sounds dope when you chop it. Like,
Well, I nicknamed him, like, KD because of his fucking initials. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't want to say kill.
kill. Nah, because
Sounds
it's only spelled with one L.
Sounds like a command. Too,
It's like
like,
1L. It's 1L.
kill.
So,
It's
KD,
kill.
like, it's.
But if you
like
want
Martin
him,
calls
if
him
you want him
KD.
to follow in your footsteps as far as boxing and everything, that would be a nice little nickname to give him.
Kill.
Yeah, and then
That's
you
true.
Go out there, kill. Go out
That
there,
is-
and kill.
kill.
Yeah. Hey, you see, you ain't thinking from that type of perspective.
That's if he
or
likes,
a
if he
sport
decides to do boxing.
or a sport perspective.
Or
Even
even
if you go out
soccer.
there, yeah,
He's
he
a
plays
forward. You
soccer,
just
he's
go
like,
kill him.
yeah,
El matador.
Kill, yeah.
El matador. No, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy because, like, all these kids that are born, like, in this area, like, this year is, like, y'all born on kind of the most shittiest year of
Not
of
really.
human life. Well, not literally, but
It's not really shitty for them.
it's not shit because they're not going to
shitty.
remember.
They're not gonna remember it. The children that are being born now are just gonna be born into a completely different world that we can't tell them like we could tell them like, oh, this is how things used to be in our day, but we won't be able to necessarily compare to what they were feeling in their day. The same way that there were generations before us that like had went to war
Yeah.
and done other things, and
Yeah.
we weren't necessarily there to be able to relate to them the same way. So the generations ahead,
Yeah.
the ones that were like, hey, like this is the shit that we were doing for you guys, and now this is why things are this way
Mhm.
now. Like they won't be able to understand it. They won't know it. They're just gonna be the ones to grow up
Another
in this world.
another thing that's hit me as a father, like now that I'm a dad, is the protectiveness. Like I see, like I'm with the protesting like 100%. Like we show up, but the looting is not like something that shouldn't be done. Especially like you're scared. Like fuck, you go out in traffic, and you're with your family, and some little dickhead comes and hits your window, and shit like that. And not in that standpoint, but on other things like like ever since I learned about like SID, sudden infant death syndrome and shit like that, like I'll be on him like looking and waking up and kind of worried, because that's like a little ass thing, like it's something that you never know. You feel guilty or something like. I guess he had like a little pimple on his head due to like like when he sleeps on one side, he got like a little pimple, and she didn't want to tell me, but I heard her mom like talk about a little bump, and I started tripping like, yo, did I fuck up, or you know what I'm saying, like, like you,
Why would those be your thoughts though? As far as to like, why would you be like, oh, why did I fuck up? Why can't it be
because I
like,
feel like I'm,
that's the way
people, it's
that
just
the
people
world.
telling me like my mom always be like, you watch out with him, like 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 I just feel like maybe my my lack of unconfident, not confidence enough, like carrying a baby and taking care of it, even though.
That's all gonna come. Like we were
Yeah.
talking about before. Like even before you having him and everything, we were saying there's not a book that's gonna be able to tell you.
Mhm.
You can't like even your parents going and coaching you and being like, hey, don't do this, don't do that. It's still you just gotta do what comes natural to you
Yeah.
because you're gonna just raise your child. Hopefully to be the best person that he could be. Regardless of anything. You just want them to have a good heart at the end of the day. Okay, you want them to feel compassion. You want them to feel loved. That's
Mhm.
all you can really pass on to a child. You can't necessarily like you know be there to like kids are gonna fuck up, like
Yeah.
especially as they get older, as they become teens, as they become adults. They're just gonna fuck up more, but what you want them to do is necessarily learn from those decisions as they grow older, and like I said, at the end of the day, be a good ultimate human being. Like you want your child to feel love. Like that's the main thing. Like you don't want your child to raise up to be the next Hitler, which didn't feel loved and stuff by his parents. And
I don't really know that much about that. Was that really why he became the person that he became to be? Such an evil.
Well, I mean, he had a little fetish for his mom and shit too and stuff. So.
That Sigma Freud mentality type of thing. Well, obviously, that's true.
Yeah.
Racism. I mean,
like we were saying though, like this new world that kids are gonna grow up to is gonna be a lot different than what we were used to and everything. But the same way that it was, like I said, generations before, like there were generations before that had white and black bathrooms and stuff like that. We don't know that times because we didn't come from those times. But now as we move forward, there's stores that you're going into and you're having to sit 6 feet apart and stand 6 feet apart in restaurants and everything, and that wasn't the normal back then. And we'll be able to tell our children of a time when you would be able to go to a crowded bar. You would be able to go to a crowded
Yeah.
store. You would be able to go to a crowded
without wearing a
area
face mask.
and not having to worry. And yeah, like the face mask thing is going to be something that they're going to have to
When you-
grow up in this world. And
The one thing I hope it doesn't. I hope it's not over as like movie theaters and concerts. Like I hope concerts is still there. Sports games. Because we're thinking of taking them to
but that's the thing is that even with that, there's going to be
To a high road
6 feet
day.
apart. Like
Yeah.
yeah, they'll be groups.
but it's gonna be like what
but even with
60% of
groups-
capacity.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is-
You won't be able to see like a filled event like that. Like what we know to be a packed event is going to be a
Yeah.
lot different from what our children to know it be a packed event. They're going to be like, oh wow, all these tables were full and stuff. And like for us, we're going to be like, no, every fucking seat in this arena used to be filled instead of like every 6 feet of a grouping. Like it's gonna be definitely a different world. But all we can do, like I said, is teach our children to feel compassion and love for others, and that's all the best that we can do.
Yeah, Because I feel like if that person doesn't have the compassion, I mean, they could be successful, but they're gonna be successful in such a dickhole ass way, you know. And at the end of the day, they're not gonna have nobody around, you know.
That's the way to like. That's the only way to actually become rich and successful is because you gotta fuck over someone else. That's the only way to happen. Like you gotta not feel as much compassion for another person. Like, say
It's
you're
like
in
the
a
philosophy,
position.
like
Well, say you're in a position
last
of power.
nice guys finish last.
Well, okay. Say you're in a position of power and everything, and then you are, um, like you're feeling like someone's going through stuff. Like you're a manager for a business and you have an employee that has a lot going on at home and everything. You want to feel compassion for that person. You don't want to let them go. But at the end of the day, it affects business. So
Yeah.
so you don't want your job to be affected.
Yeah, exactly.
So at the end of the day, you have to fuck someone over, even though you don't want to, even though you'd
You
rather
have to
not.
make those
So as you get more in power and more in position, you have to make those type of decisions of where, okay, is this going to affect me or is this going to affect someone else? And then that in those moments of instance, you can't have as much compassion for another individual than yourself.
But like with that, it's just like that person's gonna have compassionate, but at the same when they have to let go of someone, depending on the person though. But some people will have the compassionate. They're gonna feel bad as they do it, but that takes a strong person to make those type of decisions, you know. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's like, sorry, I gotta let you go. You know, it is fucked up, but I just think if we train our kids, you know, to be strong-minded and compassionate at the same time, but you gotta find a balance. Because if you're too nice, you're not gonna get there. Because everybody's gonna step on you. There's got to be a balance where you're equally, you know, compassionate, but at the same time very hard and selfish. You know, there's got to be a certain selfishness in order for you to succeed in this life. Because if you're not selfish, it's great and all, but at the end of the day, some people are gonna step on you and take advantage.
And how do you instill those values in your child? Like, look, you want to do what's best for yourself, and then, but at the same time, you want them to be compassionate. So how do you instill those type of values?
I'm gonna have to tell them like my actual past experiences, like it's kind of like I don't know if he's gonna. I mean, I hope. I mean. To me, it's gonna be kind of
in a different world, though.
It's a different world. It's gonna be a different world, but I feel like
maybe our experiences won't be able to.
It won't be different, but it won't be comparing. But he kind of understands, like, yo, you were in a vulnerable area. For example, like I've dated chicks that actually took advantage of my niceness, and hopefully he could compare it in some other stuff, or even at work where I did everything I did to get not this work, but other jobs that I had where I did whatever I needed to do, and at the end of the day, I got fucked over, you know, because that person he fucked me over by going behind my back, you know.
Yeah. So you just feel like
I just tell them my past experiences. It's not gonna be as near as you know. They're gonna be They're gonna be some similar, but at the end of the day, you have your own path.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, would you have listened to your dad's same opinions and stuff and same perspective, even though you having not gone through it prior to your own experiences? Like, you have to go through it. You have to go through life.
Go through it.
Life is gonna have to teach you those moments and stuff.
Yeah, I know life has to, like, I could tell him that, but the way my dad explained it to me, he explained it to me in a dick ass way, you know, and I didn't pay attention. If I approach, which is probably, he might not listen, he might not, but at the end of the day, hopefully it still embeds in his mind, yo, like my dad did tell me this. Okay, cool. But, like you say, he is going to have to make fucking mistakes. And he's going to have to make them. I'm just going to tell him, yo, this is what happened to me. But at the end of the day, you might end up fucking up, or you might not. It just depends on your path of life.
Okay. So God forbid, but say your child does, like, start to fuck up a lot. How are you going to go through correcting those actions? Like, what if he's just someone that's just like a complete asshole to you? Like, he grows up and he's like, oh, fuck you, dad, and fuck you, dad, and he's like, now I'm gonna go out and do this and that, and then what do you do in that situation? Like, well, what do you feel like?
It's a very tough one, because you don't want your child to hit that wrong path, but you kind of be predicting it, and that's where you got to be very hard on them and, like, fuck it, suffer your consequences. And, maybe when he gets older, he's going to realize, yo, I fucked up. It's hard for me to answer that question at the moment, because I'm not going through it.
Yeah.
And I
It's
wasn't.
a
I was like.
hypothetical,
I mean, I
but-
could say maybe I was a little prick to
Mhm.
my dad, but I wasn't a bad child. You know,
Yeah.
you know,
Your
I
heart
just
was in the right place.
yeah, exactly. And
Mhm.
I have confidence in him. Maybe I mean, he's only been here 10 days, you know,
Mhm.
but I feel like if he had like,
That's what I'm saying. It's a hypothetical.
it's
This is
hypothetical
all
thinking, but I
hypothetical,
feel like if he has my DNA, like,
Mhm.
I feel like he's gonna thrive. Like,
Mhm.
I just see that he seems very observant and intelligent, because, you know, I seen him do little moves, and he moves his neck, and he does certain things that, like, I don't know if a newborn should be doing that. Like, he's already flipping almost on my stomach, you know.
Mhm.
And his mom's is a little way different than me. So, you know, like, I'm free spirit. She's a very organized person.
Mhm.
But I do see that he gets very mad, and that's something I gotta probably have anger issues. And what helped me out is boxing and martial
So at
arts.
this moment, well, you do see your child get upset and angry. What do you do as a parent in these 10 days? Like, how do you go about making him not feel that anger? You know, how do you go about correcting that anger? Because if you go and you just try something, he gets more upset about it
The,
and stuff.
the thing is, I don't want him, like, and it's something me and Erica actually we talk a lot, because it's like,
Mhm.
we can't not legit, when he's mad, reward him.
Mhm.
Like, if he's mad because right now he's not, he's mad because he just wants something in his mouth, like, soothing.
Yeah.
You know, like, maybe it's a little bit okay, but at the end of the day, we gotta figure out another way
A balance.
to balance it, because
Mhm.
if he's getting, well, right now he's a newborn. Obviously, he only knows certain little things. You know, like, obviously he just eats and shits, and that's it. But if I notice that he gets frustrated when he can't, like, get the bottle, the titty, well, the titty of both. Either we have both the boob,
Okay.
the nipple, or the whatever,
Mhm.
like, right away, and he gets very impatient about it.
Mhm.
And we can't just, when he gets mad, like, angry, we can't just reward him and shit. And it's about, like, I feel like in that aspect, me and Erica, we come to an agreement. Like, we can't just reward him when if he's a fucking prick. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting mad and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed a lot of parents will give the kid what they want so he can shut the fuck up.
But then
Which
that grows in.
It grows in and it
As
instills
they
with them,
become an
like,
adult,
yo, yeah,
they will figure out that acting out is the best way to be rewarded. with what
rewarded,
they want.
exactly. And I think,
So that's why I was asking you that
yeah.
question: is how are you gonna go about trying to balance that as far as
we don't
you
even
say
want to
you
give them
don't-
pacifiers.
Mhm.
You know, like, sometimes, like, I'm like, fuck, maybe I should give him pacifiers so he could get us some sleep. But then I kind of think about it myself. I'm like, that's a fucking shortcut.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not cool, because it's a bad habit
Mhm.
that it's gonna break.
Mhm.
And she's very strong about it. She's like, I'm not giving a fuck it all if I have to stay up, like, legit. So when
Yeah.
it comes, when he gets angry, we try to, like, move him around, comfort him, make sure he falls asleep. And usually he does fall asleep most of the time by moving him. But we try not to soothe him with food and shit like that, because it's, if you start him that early, I feel like he's gonna develop. Even though he's hella little, but kids catch on quick. You know, they learn. They're just a sponge. I feel like he's just gonna catch that. Oh, fuck it, I'm mad. Give me something. No, little
Yeah.
dude, doesn't work. Life don't work like that.
Mhm.
You don't get what you want when you're mad.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, it backfires.
Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna happen in the
Yeah.
future and everything. These little life lessons, because that's one thing you got to be conscious of now. Is even as you're learning your child, you're kind of still teaching them things without even consciously teaching
Yeah.
them stuff. Like if you are rewarding them when they are upset, it's something that does affect them as they become adults. Because they feel like acting out is the best way to be rewarded.
Yeah.
Instead of actually being upset and sitting in your thoughts for a while and reflecting and realizing that maybe yourself is the issue, or maybe there's something that you need to do different so you can correct something in the
Yeah.
future, instead of just having something being handed to you. So
Yeah.
that is something that I was just curious because as you said that he gets upset, and I just wanted to know, like, how are you gonna go about instilling these
And, like,
these
it's a good question, because, I might be a little bit more soft than Erica.
Mhm.
Because Erica is, she's a teacher, so she has to be strong. She's dealt with kids that are all types of personalities. And me, I'm like, well, fuck. like the first thing I'm like, well, fuck, let's just give him a bottle. Maybe he's hungry. And she was like, no, because he already fed him 4 or 5 ounces. Like that's not. He's just eating just to soothe. And that's not cool. And that's just building a habit.
Yep.
So there's certain restraints that I have to work on myself because I want to. I'm like you know like I don't want to have. It's because my when I was growing up, my dad wasn't like very loving person. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like and that's a balance that I have to find out. Like I bought him. He has the fucker has like my
You don't-
kid. I
you
don't
don't
want to call
feel
him
like-
fucker, but he has
yeah.
like 7 pairs of shoes for no reason. He shouldn't have any pairs because he's gonna grow out of it.
Yeah, they're gonna grow out. But like, so that's one of the things too. Is like you don't feel like your dad was kind of trying to limit you and stuff like that for what he felt was like the best decision.
Yeah.
And as you got older, you kind of rebelled and wanted to go and just get whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
And just continuing to do that, like get whatever you want and get whatever you want. And since you didn't have those type of things, you're kind of passing that on to your child and giving him whatever he would want and stuff like that, as opposed to like like you said, trying to restrain yourself from just giving him what he wants. Like
Yeah.
you're kind of having to learn and control something that you even yourself can't control, 'cause
Yeah.
you like to go out and just get whatever you want and stuff.
Exactly.
So now you're having to learn how to not go out and just get what you want,
Exactly.
because that's the lessons that you're passing on to your child and stuff.
Yeah, and now like I'm learning that, like you said, like I used to be like, especially I was I got paid. I'm doing really great career wise, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna spend $100. Okay, I could spend $100 on myself every check.
Yeah.
Like now it's like I gotta think about it's 2 people now I gotta feed. Even though she has her own career.
Yeah.
It's him. But now it's crazy because I'll be like, fuck, I gotta like spend. I was like, now I'm gonna spend $100 on you now, and it's like, no, I can't do that because now I'm gonna instill in his mind like, yo, this shit don't last forever. When he gets older, he's not gonna get what he wants. He's gonna struggle. What if he goes to college? Was he gonna get the finer thing? No, he's gonna have to learn to earn his own shit, and that's kind of a thing that I'm kind of grateful on my dad, because all the shit that I have, I work for it hard, like I wasn't. I mean, I got what I got, like, because of my grandparents, but I mean, I was fortunate than others, obviously, but I was fortunate to actually learn to fucking work for my shit, because there's people that are spoiled as shit, you know, like I took advantage of whatever, I guess, advantages that I got,
Is there anything wrong with spoiling a child?
What's
wrong with spoiling a child?
I think it's not wrong, but there has to be a balance. I feel like I shouldn't have to, cause I don't want to spoil him, cause I want him to be humble. Like, yo, like I want him to know what I struggle, what your mom struggles, especially, or what her mom struggled with her parents, cause her parents, hardworking citizens. Her dad works 2 jobs, her mom, works clean houses and stuff like that, and it's a family owned, like they own their own business, but it's not like they're making a lot. They're very humble people.
Yeah.
And like me and Erica spoke, like as he gets older, he's gonna have to go help his grandparents to learn to earn that fucking money. Like he can't just get whatever he wants because we both do really good. Like no, it doesn't. Life doesn't work like that. And at first I was kind of like, I spoiled him, but then she's like, no, you can't be doing that, like, because he's just gonna develop bad habits, and you're not even gonna help him. You're just gonna make him not succeed in life. He's gonna have to learn to do shit on his own. Like legit, he has to be very independent, and that's one thing she really wants instilled. And it's hard for me because I want to help him out. Like I'm that person.
So that's one thing that I would say differentiates us from what the hot topic is going on from right now. Our racial division that we have going on. I don't feel like those same lessons are taught to our white brethren. Like I don't feel like they definitely feel like they have to work for what is in this world. Like they do get a lot given to them because of generational wealth that does get passed on. So they don't necessarily have those same values, and we're the only ones that are having to instill that in our children. Why can't we instill it? Like, no, we're gonna be here to give you whatever you want. We're gonna be here to try to back you up, but understand that we struggled and we are still trying to be better, and we hope that whatever level you get at, you can pass that on to your child and have them elevate themselves into a higher level. So why don't we go about educating our race about those type of values that say, these Caucasian brethren, talk about why not, like I said, teach those type of values as opposed to having them try to meet our values.
Yeah. Like, what do you, I mean, I mean, it's a tough question. What? Can I pause it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so back
Yeah, we're
to,
back.
back to our question. So, not
So let me go ahead and
all our white
Go
brethren.
ahead and reiterate the
Yeah.
question then again. So it was, yeah, like I said, about how I feel like, yeah, we try to teach as minorities, we teach our children that, hey, the world isn't going to be nice. The world's going to, be rough and not treat you fair. But, I don't feel like those same lessons are taught to, like I said, our white brethren, because life isn't difficult for them. They back each other up. They feel like, hey, I got you. I got your back. Like as their older generations, like even to our president, which got $1 million loan when he was a child. So there was this generational wealth that's been built upon them, so
Well,
they're able to help each other. And
let me
why do we have to continue to try to?
let me ask you. Let me answer that question. Not all like our white veteran our brethrens are not. I don't. I know some of them where their parents
Caucasoids.
legit what?
Caucasoids.
Yeah, not all of them
Mhm.
legit get babied. We're alone. Most of them, like some of them that I met, all got kicked out at 18. You're on your own without a loan, and their parents make. They're just middle class folks,
Mhm.
But the ones that are really rich, like the ones I lived in Brentwood, oh yeah, they
Yeah.
got spoiled to the fact. But I met like in Brentwood that are middle class, like
Mhm.
they work the same jobs my parents do. They just, they get instilled those values like, yo, you're on your own
Mhm.
as soon as you're 18. Like,
You feel like there's those white people that
there
do
is,
get
yeah,
that.
that's still, and that's because they struggled
Mhm.
when they were younger. They got
But how much do you have to fuck up to be a white person to struggle though?
that's,
Like you have to really fall into some drugs.
but the thing
You
is,
gotta be
with
mad.
them is like,
Mhm.
when I'm with them, like, I don't want to say that's fucked
Yeah,
up,
no, it's
but
good. Go ahead.
with them is like,
Uh-huh.
the thing is they don't struggle to get jobs,
Mhm.
and the systematic racism is there. Like, is there like a, I'm gonna put it like in three examples.
Why don't white people
Like
struggle to
three,
get
there's
jobs?
two examples. So, I'm getting interviewed. Me being Mexican, I'll have a few tattoos, but I won't, but I'll have a nose piercing, maybe a small one. Then I have the credentials, that have the experience and have the degree. We have a black person that has way more experience with dreads,
Mhm.
has more experience, and has a degree.
Yeah.
There's a white dude that gets interviewed, a
Mhm.
white brethren. He has no experience,
Mhm.
but he has a degree.
Okay. So
They
all
were
three
they were going.
are gonna go to the same interview.
We're all going to the interview.
Uh-huh.
We're going for the same job.
Mhm.
They don't pick us. They're gonna pick
Yeah.
our
Well,
white brethren because
how did he go
he's
about
gonna
selling
be
himself?
because the way he's gonna sell himself,
How did he go about
he's
selling himself?
doesn't have dreads.
Mhm.
I probably have the nose piercing,
Mhm.
but because he is the face, he's going to probably be the face, and he just looks better. Even though he might have he might talk to him like, "Yo, I'm the best," this and that,
Mhm.
but he might have a shitty work ethic. But because due to the fact that he legitly is not what they're looking for, is stereotyping. They assume,
As an employer, what you look for is an employee that's going to be able to make you more money.
exactly.
So when you try to go in there and you do try to sell yourself on the best way possible.
Uh-huh.
Like say it is the same scenario with us three individuals going in there. As a Latino Hispanic, you could say that you could reach a broader community and reach more people being bilingual and being able to be equivocally as professional as a white person, but yet also reach a different audience. Like you definitely have to sell yourself on those.
Yeah, you have to
So
like legit sell
to
yourself,
say
but
that they aren't-
but
that they
there
don't
is
have
people
a little bump up is wrong because they do have
they
a
they,
slight
and
advantage.
they will have an
and,
advantage.
and yeah, we do have to work for it a little bit harder
Yeah.
and everything, but that's what we have to be proud in saying that we're able to reach a bigger audience. We're bilingual because we're able to that. So once we put those on resumes and we let that be known to companies, we add value to ourselves because it's like, look, no, there is a lot of people out there that do only speak Spanish and everything.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing that also scares white companies. It's like, oh man, we're having to
adapt
to switch to that. Yeah, we're having to adapt
and
to
it's
that.
and like when like certain jobs where you don't see Spanish speaking folks
KFC?
for huh
What?
I'm like no mom this way for like exactly like Spanish speaking jobs, like for example where I work at, like 20 years ago I wouldn't have got hired, like from what I like I've told stories like legit, like from what I heard, like 20, 30 years ago it'd been like nope.
Por feo.
No, not because of that. No, mames. Just because they were people that work there now. That's their cousin. They're white, but they have the same skin tone as them. Now it's more diverse. Now it's like you could look whatever you want, but that's because it just looks wrong when it's a federal thing, Even though I'm not saying it's true or not. It might have a possibility that there's still a little bit of racism, but it's not. Like,
do you feel like when affirmative action came into play that kind of started to disband those type of jobs that were only able to hire themselves? Do you feel like that gave opportunities for minorities? Or
yes.
do you feel like it was also not putting the same individuals, the most best educated
because
individuals?
From what I was told, like back in the days, there was a pattern. No one talked about it, no one brought it up, and that was it. But slowly, like more Hispanics, more black folks started working in and stuff like that. Now it's a very diverse work area. Very, very. It's one of the best places to work at where I work. I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
But it's one of the best places to work, and I've met great people. All my like supervisors, management, very diverse, very professional, and I'm one of those guys that got very, very lucky because I have zero experience. What helped me out is that I knew someone in there. So times are changing.
So don't you feel like that was the same thing though? You knew someone in there.
I
like
knew someone.
White people knew someone in there. So do you feel like when affirmative action?
A little bit it was.
So you feel
I'm
like
not
when
gonna
affirmative action came into play and allowed minorities to be in there, it kind of opened the gates because it's like, hey, my brother, I feel you. You come up in here too. I'm gonna let you up in here, even though you may not be the best qualified individual.
There is.
And it's like, yo, this is my brother though. I'm letting you in. But it also may not be the best qualified individuals.
And it does happen like that. And it does happen. I was nearly not as qualified for the job. I have zero experience. I interview really well. I told them my values, what I value the most, how fast I learn, and my work ethic. Like I sold the three things that they wanted to hear. But from what I was told is that they wanted to hire someone with no experience because they want to mold someone the way they wanted to. So it just depends on the employer. But there's other jobs where legitimately, not where I work at, but other one where it's like they're a little bit, they were a little bit racist in certain ways and shit, and stereotyping. They assume. I mean, first, like, obviously, if you do go to interview, you look like a dipshit. You're not gonna definitely get hired. Don't expect that. But there's times where legit people go really professional, and they do not get picked due to the fact because of their skin color. Because what that employer wants is obviously they want to make money, but they feel like they're gonna make more money because of that skin color, that face. Especially depending on the environment. For example, you work at a retail store where the 99% of the customers are white folks, white brethren. You go in there, they're not gonna hire just them. They want to feel their customers comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to approach that person. They don't want to get scared. Because there's still stereotypes that all Mexicans all drink and party and legit steal
Don't
or gang
you-
members, and they're stereotypes that
Don't
you
you
know.
feel comfortable like being around your own race though? When I walk into like a Mexican store at the end and stuff, I feel more home, more at safe than I do when I walk into say like a white supermarket, or even I mean.
I've never been comfortable. I think the only time legitly I felt very, very uncomfortable
Mhm.
was when I went to a country concert.
Mhm.
To go to the bathroom was the most uncomfortable motherfucking feeling I ever been.
You're looking at your dick.
No, it's just everybody there was like looking at me. It's a country. Majority of country listeners
Mhm.
are white brethren. The only person that legitly like was me made eye contact and was like, "Yo, we got each other." It was me and some other. It was a black dude. It was another brother. So I was like, "Fuck you," you know, like. But everybody there, they just mugged like what the fuck are you doing here, Mexican? Like you don't belong in this fucking. This is not your music, you know. Like that's the vibe that I got.
Yeah.
But like around like I haven't. That's the only place I felt because I felt the racism there. I legit felt it because you know just it's just that culture. You know, I'm not saying all people that listen to country are racist, but that's just I felt like a lot of people from the South and you know. To me, that's the only time I felt uncomfortable. Like me, you know, being in a party with, like, like I lived in Brentwood, and there's a lot of white folks there,
Mhm.
like white brethren,
Majority white brethren.
majority, and
Mhm.
they were all very cool, very respect. The police was the ones that are very stereotypical, especially one of my, I remember this incident. So have you ever been to my aunt's house, right? The new house in the back.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, cool. Sorry, technical difficulties. So, alright. So in that back, can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So in that back, so the new house, those new houses, they're built around an older neighborhood. I guess it's like the hood of Brentwood. But there's a lot of like, at the time there's like a lot of violence going on. So I woke up. It was the morning. I just had some pajamas and a black hoodie. I came out of my aunt's house. I'm walking. I get to the neighborhood because it's not a far walk, and I get blurred by the detective,
Mhm.
and I get blurred by the cop. They both come out at me manny.
Boat.
Like they both came out at me really fucking
boat.
manny. Like, hey, get your ass down to the floor. Da-da-da. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like panting, like, yo, what? She goes, you're the guy that broke into. Like they were saying that I broke into a house, that I fit the description, and
Skater punk.
yeah, I even had skating shoes. My shoelaces are ripped, but I guess I fit the description, or whatever they said the description. My aunt comes out. She was like walking, like and she sees that I'm getting fucking held by the cop, by the actual police chief. He was like, "You are the guy that stole into this house." Like, what the fuck? Like, no, I just live in the house. Well, someone reported you were breaking into the house. I'm like, no, my aunt lives there. Check her ID, and she'll let you know. Like I live there, and like he was trying to force, and then he kind of apologized after me. He was like, "Okay, you just have to fit the Hispanic description." Okay, I'm like, "Yeah, but you assumed because I came out of there, I walked over here, you thought that I was stealing," and he was like, "Well, we never know." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, you just stereotyped me, dude. Like
Yeah,
that's
you got the face of a thief, David.
no, I don't.
You got
I be stealing girls' hearts." I just
thief ass feet face.
and the you know what was the sad part was like that at the time the police chief was a Mexican, a Hispanic, and he came at me fucking hard. Every time I get pulled over by a cop, the only police officers that I get attitude are by Mexicans and white people and white brethren.
So your own
But,
kind goes.
my
against you.
own kind goes against me, and it's a sickness that us Hispanics have. El enemigos de un otro mexicano es otro mexicano, which I heard that term in plenty of times since when the times I encounter a brother as a police officer, they're the most respectful, very cool. You know, they're very chill. They're not dicks. They're not rude. They don't have their gun behind their, you know, in their hand already. You know, ready. You know, I got pulled over last year, and I was I seriously should have got a ticket. He looked at me. He's like, "Why are you going?" He asked me, "Why are you going so fast?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm late to my boxing class." He looked. He's like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "You box?" I was like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "You know what? I'm just gonna give you a warning, man. I'll let you go." But he was hella respectful. I've never like with that like a black officer. I've never dealt I like with them with no bad attitude. They're very respectful. But with Mexicans, cops, and white cops, like dude, I just get treated like a fucking criminal. Like I did like the worst crime. You know,
Yeah,
it's rare. I mean, rare that I get one good cop. I don't know why. Is it? I just feel like Hispanics just got to prove a point. Cause I just feel like they want to be white, but they're not. Like I don't know. I just noticed that about them, and I see it with when a baby's born. They're happy when it's a light skinned baby, but when it's morenito, they're like, "Oh, que tan feo. He's ugly." I don't know if that's something that is instilled in us in our culture.
it is. It's something that's
It's
definitely deep.
which is a
rooted.
sickness to me.
It's deep rooted.
Because you look at the novelas, the ones that have money are the light skinned. You know what I'm saying? The picture people that are dark skinned are like Mexico just trash.
They're not paid as much. They are, and even in Mexico, they're having protests.
Especially
at
in
this
Mexico,
time.
fascism
They're
to the
having
max.
Black Lives Matter protests in Mexico also.
Well,
Which is ironic because if you're trying to protest against the police, their police, Mexican police, are some of the most corrupt in the world.
the
So,
worst.
so to say that the police here in America are bad,
Oh,
they
yeah,
may
that's
treat,
another thing.
they
And
may treat, and that's the thing that's difficult. Is like, okay, what's worse, another race to oppress you or your own race to oppress you? What's worse?
and,
That's a question that a
and
lot of
it's,
people need
I
to
think
ask.
it's
like,
true.
what's worse?
What's worse?
Is another race oppressing you? Like, you can revolt against that. If it's your own race, you have issues in yourself that you have to look into, and that's the
And
thing is with ourselves. Like as Hispanics,
That's why. That's
we're we oppress our own race. So what's worse?
it's true.
What's worse?
What's worse? Yeah, exactly. It's like okay, well, I mean, at least with another race, you're like, well, fuck, like.
You can unite over.
You can
something.
unite over something, but when it's your own race, you're like, whoa, like we can't go along, like,
Where's that
and
unity at?
like I'm with the protesting, like, yo, let's do it, but not all cops are bad. Like, there's some few bad apples, you know what I'm saying? Like, just people have to understand, like, there's a lot worse in another country. You go to Mexico, protesters go missing, legit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
you talking about getting killed, bro? You get your head decapitated.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And
the
they're
bar-
and they might be
Hood
more
site.com.
racist than the ones here. You know what I'm saying? Like, here, like my cousin told me one time, like I had like a rip. He was like, dude, over there, we gotta follow the rules because obviously we're gonna get caught on camera, this and that. We gotta follow legit rules. You go to Mexico, they don't give a fuck,
Yeah,
even if there's cameras.
yeah, they don't give a
Fuck, and
So,
it's something that people gotta understand. And
yeah, well,
and I just feel like a lot of people like gotta understand. You have to travel the world to understand. Like how blessed, yes,
the United States is
is where
as
we
far as
have
the
the actual
right of First Amendment,
Amendment
to be able to protest.
protest, and we have actual the right to fuck legitly make a change. Other people have it worse. They cannot legit.
Get
As
your
much
head
as they
chopped off.
protest, as much as they change, they cannot do it. Cause the system is really corrupt. Talking about corrupt system, that here, we have the power to change it
Mhm.
and the ability to
And
do
in
it.
Mexico, they don't have.
They don't have that power. They don't.
It's been corrupted.
It's
and
been
stuff.
and it's generations, generations, and generations.
Is that what makes us more
Strong.
easier to assimilate to order? Is because we're like, as Hispanics, like if we don't do something that our community wants us to do, there is a chance of them murdering you.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of have that subconscious thought of like we have to conform, and then when we do come to a new nation, it's easier for us to conform because we're like, okay, this is the native styles here, this is that, like
We have to
do it,
follow
man.
what they want us to do.
yeah,
and
because we're so used to in our own race being kind of self-governing, as opposed to say in Africa where it's, they do have tribes that kill each other and stuff like that, but it's more like they revolt more. There's more of a revolt. There's more of them wanting their voices to be heard.
Mhm.
More of that as them. Does that differ like in those ways? Do you feel like
It might be a possibility,
is
like
that
yo,
what
like
makes us different?
I feel that's it could. I'm not saying it is, because I just feel like
Does that make them stronger because they
I
don't fear death the same way we do?
y- it might be a possibility, like yeah, we do fear death, and it's it's just we are grateful, most likely our parents ingrained us like y'all y'all grateful, y'all should take advantage of what we came and do, and it's true though, most Hispanics, a lot of us, I mean it's a few, because obviously a lot of them fuck up. I'm not saying that's cool. They might have made mistakes and they do fuck up and they don't take advantage of it.
Mm.
But most of them, we do get an education. We become somebody. We become leaders. The only thing that upsets me is, yo, like, upsets me about this is that a lot of them, most of them, like not all of them, actually, I don't say all of them, but the ones that don't take advantage are just screw ups. Like, yo, you just risk. Your parents just came to this country to give you a better life, and all you're gonna do is just blow it off. Take advantage.
What if that was all they were able to do, though? What if that was the most that they were able? They were able to get you onto the land that was able to give you a better future, but they weren't able to give you that good base that would have helped you.
Because they
towards a
worked so
future.
hard, and
Mhm.
or didn't have the time.
Didn't yeah.
But I don't. I just feel like most of the time, like your parent, maybe they might have not instilled. Because that's true. Because Mexican dads are very strong. They're not very, and I just feel like it's the environment that you get raised in. Like, once you're in here, it's like a different environment. You obviously get drawn to gangs, this and that. But at the end of the day, they're like, oh shit, fucked up. Like, well, ya que? You know what I'm saying? Well, I was like, well, fuck.
Well, people only get drawn to the gangs because they either get picked on and they want protection or they want inclusion.
They're insecure.
Yeah, they want inclusion or something like that. But that's
But that's where I feel
the
like
same thing can happen in any nation. Like imagine you're still in Mexico and then there's the
Yeah.
Zetas that are over here trying to recruit you. and
But you
stuff.
know what?
It's the same thing. It's the same.
I feel like it's up to our generation
joining
to
a gang,
but it, like,
in general, it's
but,
just
like,
that you feel insecure.
that's where some people, well, like maybe someone that when they don't have that baseline, obviously because their parents are always working, but that's where legitly leaders and like legit with the communities. Because when I was doing the boxing classes, like a lot of kids joined. It was free for kids to go that they weren't here. Most of them didn't know until I was like telling one kid, you should tell your homies to join. Bring your kids. They started bringing them in and kept them busy. And that's one thing that I feel like we're losing a lot, is a lot of like community stuff to do, like programs. Like for me, I feel like I didn't go to the wrong path
So
due to skateboarding.
We're fortunate enough to be the last of that generation that knew what community sports was,
Yeah.
what community events were, what group gatherings were, and even now,
I feel like
as
that's
we
up
say,
to us now to provide
even,
these things.
Even now, as we like Corona coming in, it's making us more apart and everything like that. But this new generation that started in the 90s, 2000s, and everything is the information generation. So yeah, we may be losing a lot of social connections, a lot of group gatherings, a lot of togetherness, a lot of that, but we're also becoming a lot more knowledgeable. We can answer any question we need in our pocket at this moment.
Yeah.
Information is what's more out there. It's more so, it's leaving it, it's like, this is the information out here. It's up to you to go find it. Yeah, you may not, you may not be in groups and everything, but I feel like overall for humanity, it's a lot better because we're educating ourselves more. We're not necessarily so cliquey and fighting over bullshit like once we were in high school over
Yeah.
little cliques and of the Southeast and the Vista and all that little bullshit and stuff like that. Like those were very minute things that kind of took up time. Yeah, they were like good little memories in our
Yeah.
high school and stuff
Hey,
like
look,
that.
it's cute.
It
It's
was
cute.
social, yeah.
It was cute,
social
but
thing.
it's
But
not
it doesn't
cute.
make you a
better person.
Which now, as like I said, in the 90s, 2000s, like this new generation moving forward, it's the information
Yeah.
Like that's really what it is.
And I think that's I don't know. I'm not really too informative like how gang violence is going on throughout the nation. I know Stockton is bad.
It's a lot better now, but
It's
yeah.
but other than that, like at the end of the day, like it just depends. Like who is the people around you, your environment, these community things. But like you said, yeah, now we have all this type of things to keep people to learn. Like if you want to go learn, if you want to learn how to skateboard, go on YouTube. You want to learn how to make a table, go on YouTube. Most of the time, kids are and I notice a lot of kids don't even go out anymore. They just play video fucking games. I don't know if that contributes from them from legit going out and doing dumbass shit, but I mean, I feel like the only thing that kids are gonna get is fucking lazy and entitled. That's one thing that's going out the window. Which I feel like the way we grew up, we seen violence, we seen all these type of things. There was few of us that
Rumbles.
didn't fall into it, but there's few of us that didn't. But the few that did became very strong people. We became leaders. We became because of the shit that we struggled, the shit that we seen, and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's just like,
And that's the only thing is that our future leaders are gonna have to. We can't see our future leaders now because they're gonna have to address.
but we are the last.
future problems.
But
So
we are the
don't know.
last generation now, legit that
Mhm.
didn't grow up. Legit, we're the only generation that didn't even know what legit did. Like we're the ones that had the only way we had entertainment is to go home. You know what I'm saying? Now you can just take that shit everywhere, and like we were the last ones to even know what. Like we were the last ones. Like yeah, we were kind of where technology was advancing, but we were the last ones that legit knew what it was. Not to have these type of things to distract us entertainment. We actually got to feel what to be a kid is. Going on a bike and fish and do shit on our own, like learn shit on our own without someone telling us on a media on a TV. It's a crazy world. I just hope everybody that's protesting, which is a lot of young people, I hope everybody's registered to vote.
Yeah.
I hope like if you really
Well,
want to
they're
change,
not. I
vote,
mean,
man.
They're too young at this point. I feel like we won't see change until we see
And
to
it's
see actual
it's-
change from when things happen. It takes a generation. It takes at least it'll be the generation after. It'll be your children and stuff that'll be like, hey, like these are the things that have happened, and we're here to change it.
Because I was speaking with someone and I was like, if you want to change, you're mad because someone called you a spick, bro. Like, legit, brush that off, bro. Why are you? He's
Well, that's
getting,
the thing is also
if he gets you into your fucking head, and I don't know, maybe I learned that from martial arts.
Generations now, like really, what does that word "spick" mean to you? It doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah.
You have to have the information and
Yeah.
the historical context to understand what "spick" meant for it to hurt you. If you don't, as we go on in generations ahead, like I'm sure "spick" won't mean shit to your child and stuff. Like
No, he's
they
probably
won't
not.
care because it doesn't mean shit to us now. It doesn't.
And
It's
it doesn't
not a
bother
word.
me because
But that's also one thing with us that we also don't have to. That I guess kind of we helped water that down because we didn't educate on the word. We kind of just made it a word. It's not something we try to add a definition to, as to where I feel like our black brethren have constantly tried to educate themselves on what the word nigga is and stuff and like that. And they're adding they're kind of making that word more powerful than it has to be. As opposed to like, what that word doesn't have to mean shit to you and stuff like that. But at the same time, I understand on their behalves that it was a word to hurt them, that it was a
to
word
degrade
to
them.
degrade them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it only matters because they make it matter. You know what I
Like-
mean?
Like for example, I didn't even know about that thing that happened in Juarez with our people.
1917.
Yeah, I
El
didn't.
Paso.
El Paso.
You're talking about Paso.
I didn't know that until-
Mm-hmm.
I know. The thing is with America, we have amnesia. Yes, it pissed me off, like it did, because I might have had family members that went through that shit, like because it went on for long.
Until the 60s.
Yeah, and my grandpa got here
But it
like
was a
way
full-
before the 60s,
And there was a lot that was.
and he
passed in
died from
1917.
cancer. So I don't know if that triggered it. And the only way he got to the border, if like to the 60s, which was like, whoa, this is only a person ago, like legit, 2 people ago,
Generations ago.
two generations, which is not that far, That's legitimately is not far. But at the end of the day, I feel like I can't hold that anger and animosity, because if I keep that anger and animosity, it's not gonna help me advance. It's not gonna. That's the past. Only we're gonna do is just educate what happened. I'm glad that I got educated. Now I'm gonna, let
It's
it go.
the only reason that our people went through that and stuff is because we were starving for work. Like there wasn't enough work in Mexico and everything. So that's when the agricultural movement happened and allowed us to go over to the United States and work in these fields for a lower wage, but it was a higher wage than what was offered to us in Mexico. So that's the one thing, man, is that we have to also, think about ourselves and our own people. Like, why don't we put more value into our people? Why don't we put more money into our own people, as opposed to like, yeah, there was this country, United States, America, that was like, we're going to give you guys a little bit more money than you guys make over there, knowing that it's less than still what they would pay their own people.
Yeah.
But they're like, you guys have to go through this whole process of being sprayed with the pesticide. We have to clean you. We have to make sure
Kerosene
you're safe for our people.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah. So, who's really at fault? Like, why don't we say that? Yeah, it should have been our government that would have paid us more money for us not to have to go through that type of stuff. Why not? Why wouldn't we revolt against our own people? Like, hey, there's this country that's giving us more money, and we're having to go through that. So, in the government's perspective, they would just be like, yeah, it's up to you guys if you want to put yourself
into that situation,
into that stuff. But why aren't they giving us more money so we wouldn't have to go through that and start a better thing in our own country?
I just feel like,
why wouldn't we want to cultivate in Mexico and make better fruits? And
better.
The labor that we supply to the United States had provided to Mexico, and then the United States would have been relying on us for fruits and vegetables. Instead, we went and put the labor into the U.S. at a higher wage than what Mexico wanted to put us, but at the same time set USA up for not being sufficient and reliant on Mexico. They only made it to use our people. So, had Mexico put those same resources into ourselves, the U.S. would be relying on
them. And it's sad though, because
really
who's the fault? It's just people. Yeah, it's not, and it's true though, because they saw that. Yeah, they had to go through this fuck up sick shit, but they didn't die right away. Only those 17 people died, but at the end of the day, like, they went there because fuck it, I'm gonna sacrifice it. I'm living way horrible over here, which it's my own fucking people fucking letting me starve.
I could get decapitated.
I
could do this and that.
We went and fuck it. I'd rather get kerosene,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna sacrifice where my children, their children, could live better, and then hopefully things are gonna change. Which things are changing.
So you have to make those logical choices. It's like, am I gonna risk myself?
It just depends how fucked up your life is in that
really,
country.
Yeah, it's really the level of risk you're willing to assume. It's like, am I willing to risk this here in
And
my
that's
own country, or am I willing to risk
That's
going through that over there for a better future? And you have to put yourself
Yeah,
in
and
perspective. It's like, would you want to do that for your child? It's like you're living like shit over
I just
here,
feel like
but-
our ancestors, our grandparents feel like, you know what, shit's horrible. We like horrible, but over here is way worse. They had faith that this country was gonna change, and it is changing, slowly, But like I said before, we have the advantage as minorities, as as a Hispanic, as a black
So is
person,
America
African American.
great or not?
America is great, definitely. I've been. You've been to China. How bad is it out there?
It's they just really can control you at any moment
Yeah.
if they want. Like, there's also constant cameras that are tracking your every movement.
How's Colombia?
Colombia isn't too bad. Colombia does have its areas of where you can't go in because of cartels,
Yeah,
and they're locally governed, as you could say.
yeah.
But
But like it's same like we could walk
there's
here.
that threat of still being killed.
killed,
at any
yeah.
moment.
How's Mexico?
The same as
Yeah.
far as you can. There's that threat of
Yeah.
there of you being able to be killed, and
But you still want that comfortability. Here we have the comfortability where we could walk anywhere.
unless you're black.
You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, and that's sad though. Like, you know, no human should feel that way at all. And but but you know, we're at the time where we could change the shit, and I hope everybody is registered to vote. I just think you just gotta travel more, man. See,
Well, that's gonna
travel
be tough.
more,
Like I
let go of
said,
shit from
we're-
the past. We just have to let it go, man.
Well, we're in 2020, man. This whole new year is a whole fucking year of change, and shit's gonna be just completely different, dude. As far as like this COVID shit, this protest.
Yeah, everybody went out the window with the COVID
this is
shit.
the biggest year of change, dude. The biggest, and you know who knows what's to happen here forward. We do have an election later on coming in this year in November, and that's when you have the choices if you want to either.
One thing that
choose
trips me out about
Trump
this,
or Biden at this moment, but there isn't really a good option out there, honestly.
you know what America needs is a new political party.
The Dave and Chris podcast party.
That's pretty good.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying, like, legit, it was just like, I'm near, like, I don't even fall to neither fucking legit category at this point. Like, you know, I'm not a far left, and I'm definitely not a far right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like, I don't like Trump. Definitely do not like him. He's a piece of shit. Like,
Trompito.
you know what I'm saying? Like, he.
Oh shit, it's David. He's out here. Yo, David.
And I don't like Biden because
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe, I don't know. And like, to me, the only candidate legit that was worth it was Bernie
Kamala
Sanders.
I'm just kidding.
But Bernie Sanders, you know, like, I think he felt like he felt like the most logical one out of all those candidates. It sucks because at the end of the day, the Democrats only pick what the fuck they want to pick.
Do you think Bernie's ever been with a black girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think he had that cocoa?
Yeah.
You
Like,
love
yeah.
the cocoa. Yeah, you think Bernie had it? Hey.
Yeah.
I think he had a little something.
Black women are beautiful,
From
bro.
Atlanta.
All women are beautiful.
David said black women matter.
You're such an idiot, I swear. But all types of people are beautiful, man. I have all types of friends, and I think one thing we Hispanics have to like think of, like, yo, we gotta have diversity as our friends. Like, we gotta stop stereotyping, you know, like legit, you know, like, if we really gonna stick together, we got as a minority group, we all gotta have some group of friends. And you know, that's one thing I'm gonna instill to my kid, like, yo, you have to legit. I don't care what color your friend is. I don't care what religion. As long as he's your dog, your main dog that supports you 100%, bro. That's what's up. You know, that's, you know, like,
So your son could bring any race girl home.
yes. What is that? Like, legit, like, why? Or he could. I don't know if he's gonna, like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I like? No, I shouldn't have to prevent you from your happiness, bro. You could date girl.
What if he wants to be a girl? What would you do about that? Yeah. What if your child wanted? Let's go into that bag. Let's go into the Zaya Wade bag, yo.
Yeah.
As far as like, yo, what if your child wanted to change their sex? Like,
It is what it is, man. Like,
at what age do you think it's okay for you to be like, yeah, you know what you want? What if he was like at 4 and like, I want to be a girl? Are you like, okay, yeah, you know what?
we're gonna have to like
Are
talk
you gonna
about
be
it.
like,
Like, I'm not gonna
yo,
be like, yo, take him to a psychologist and like, yo,
Yeah.
like, legit. If I see throughout the years he doesn't feel, and I guess he gets to a certain age, like
Yeah.
11, like understanding.
So
Then
you
I'm
feel like
like, yeah.
11's cool then.
11,
before-
12, 13. Well, when he gets to like the puberty stage when hormones hit him, you know. But it's something that I have to talk. We have, like, as a parent, you gotta talk to him, conversate. Do not make him feel uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, I want him to feel comfortable. I don't want him to fucking be, like, you know, fucking be scared to come out, or be scared, you know, like, No, dude, we love you for who you are. I don't care, you know, that you want to be a woman or you feel that you know what I'm saying he shouldn't have to fucking be afraid to be who the fuck
Yeah.
he is in
Yeah.
this fucking world. I wear tight fucking jeans as a man.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
was
give
just
a
saying,
fuck.
Like, at what age? Is
I don't know, cause at that age it's just kids, you know. They just, you know, they could be like, I want to be Batman or I
Yeah.
want to be Batgirl. Like, yo, cool, you know.
So are you gonna discourage him to be Batman?
Yeah, I'm like, go ahead and be Batman, bro. Go
Yeah,
fight.
you gonna let him be Batman?
I'll let him be the little kid.
What superhero wouldn't you let him be? You'd be like, no, fuck that. Fuck that superhero.
The only one?
What superhero would it be?
The only one?
We would be like, nah, fuck that superhero.
No, Catwoman's tight. 'Cause she's badass.
Yeah. What superhero would you be like, nah, fuck that. You can't be that superhero.
Superman, dude.
Superman?
Fucking hate Superman.
Yeah,
I
you'd be
swear
like,
to God.
if he just came through with a little S on his chest.
I'd be like, yo,
he's
get
like,
the
yo,
fuck
I'm
back.
so-
Go put a Black Panther fucking costume, dog.
Yeah.
Or go put, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he just came through with a little blue cape and shit.
I'm like, get the fuck out of
Hey,
here,
he's
bro.
like, look down.
Look, I'm pushing. I'd be like, yeah, nah, hell nah. At least beat the Sentinel, man. Come on, man. I just hate. Like, that's my least superhero is Superman. I totally understand why, like, my uncles all love him because he's an immigrant. You know, like, they could relate to him, you know, and he became who he is. But that motherfucker has no weaknesses. They just made him, like, indestructible. Like, nah, like, he has no emotion. He's just the perfect dude. Like, nah, fuck that. Like, I don't know. He's too hype. Yes, I understand he's, like, the first superhero and made everything perfect. Like, open the door for other. But
Is that when you would open him up to like Shazam and shit, or what?
She's-
Educate him on that or a little bit or not?
Shazam was actually pretty cool. Actually, I got to see the movie not that long ago. I didn't even want to watch the movie. I was like, it's just stupid. Then I saw, I was like, actually, it's pretty good. It's
It
like,
was one of the better DC movies.
it is actually surprisingly. It's like, damn, it's actually a really good movie. I can't wait till my kid starts liking comic books and that type of stage. That's just tight. That's to me, it's gonna be sick. But one thing I do wish, I wish we had a Hispanic superhero, man. That's like.
Miles Morales.
Yeah, I like Miles. That's the sickest shit because he had two cultures put together, biracial. You know, that's
They
sick.
said they were cutting corners though, because they was only over here. They're like, we're gonna knock out two races at once.
No, that's cool. That's tight.
Yeah.
But I just want like other than that, like I want some like a Hispanic like.
I could have seen you with a little more Miles Morales. You named a little Miles Morales.
I would have, yeah, I would have.
He'd have been like, yo, what's up, Miles?
That's a sick ass.
Miles? That's the next one.
Miles, yeah, Miles is sick. I love that movie, dude. That's one of the best cartoon movies. But nah, that's one thing that's tight though. Like, I got to see my first. Did you see the Chicano?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's like a superhero. It's like a superhero street, kind of like Daredevil type of style, but they incorporated the cartels and the Aztecs and like I guess this is a mantle that's been passed down by ancient blade that was made from the jade of Mexico or some type of marble. I don't know. It's pretty. It's not bad. It could have been a little better just because it was low. But George Lopez in it. They call him El Chicano. But you know, that's something I wish. You know, I'm like, damn, Marvel, what's up, man? The only Hispanic, I think, superhero is Spider-Man. Besides Miles Morales, and there's another one from Spider-Man 2039 or some shit. I don't know any other Hispanic besides the one you sent me of an article of a Colombian superhero that fought a Colombian drug lord or some shit. The Wolf.
I don't know. Was that in the amateur porn category? I
No,
don't
it was
remember
not.
that.
No, it was
okay.
not. You sent me the
Alright,
article. It was like
my bad.
years.
I like that. I like the amateurs.
Like Marvel's making a Shang-Chi, you know.
Amateurs.
No.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then you get the camera. And I like when they hold the camera,
Tell
and it'd be like that sideways camera and shit.
Solo Cricket.
Mhm. Where you can't make it full screen because they took the mobile screen sideways, and you're like, damn, I can't zoom in.
I seen. Did you protest, Rodell? I seen you comment on one of the 209 times. What? I forgot what the video. Hey, who is that guy that runs 209 times? Is so like not to throw shade. Like I met him once. He went to the academy to train boxing, And he was cool and all, and he's like, yeah, take my picture, dude, request me, dude. Like, he wanted me to take a picture of him training there. And I'm like, he's only been there like twice, and after he never showed up.
Never showed up.
Kind of like that white girl that
White
showed up
girl.
at a protest.
Oh, yeah, she wanted to take a picture of the black dress.
No,
Black girl.
grill and when they
With the
Oh,
construction
yeah, I seen that.
yeah, and then she wasn't a part of it. And she
Yeah. I just,
Oh my
with him, I'm like, God, every time, like,
kind of what he is. He's opportunist.
yeah, exactly. Like, I've just, like, legit, I was like, he was seemed cool at the time. Like, yeah, I took a picture. He went to the academy twice, and other than that, I'm like, but
Better him than Tubbs, though. Tubbs is
honest, yeah, Toes the same thing. I mean, when I was a kid, it was like he was a little prick to me,
Jordans.
so I was like, whatever. And I was like, well, you weren't that nice when you were a kid, so that shit still lingers in your mind.
Whoa. That was a hard ER.
he said linger.
That was a hard ER, David.
I say lingering
I
or
know.
linger.
Oh
That
my
is-
God, ER.
Lingering. All right, lingering. I didn't mean.
Oh,
I
okay.
said linger, but I didn't mean it that way. It's just lingers in his mind, in his dick. Dude, that's one thing people shouldn't be afraid is.
You can say the word linger.
Yeah, but don't take the ER context to a whole different level. Like, if I meant to mispronounce it, I didn't mean it that way. I meant
They be linging.
lingering. Like, dick, like.
Gives you the right to say linger.
What gives me the right is, like, he was a little prick to me. So I'm pretty sure he has that.
Linger.
Shit. He was an asshole to me when I was a kid, so, I just remember,
It's okay to linger.
it's whatever.
What's up, my linger?
I never treated anybody, I never, ever.
What's up, my linger?
Oh my god, you stupid dipshit. I'm about to edit that. There's a few things I'm about to edit. You're such a fool though. But this is it's a very interesting world that we're living in today.
Where
What's-
we at, David?
We are at 1 minute and 31 minutes.
An hour and 31?
So I don't know if you got stuff to do after this, since
No.
you're a busy man.
It's up to you, man. You the one with the new baby.
You
the one with
she
the
went to go
new
get
baby.
pizza. She went to go get pizza,
Oh, shit.
so she bought us all pizza. Costco pizza.
Oh, shit. That's like a 2-hour wait.
No. So Riddell's here. But no, other than that, like, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like politicians these days they just in it for themselves. They ain't, what changes are they gonna do? It's a tough job anyways. Same thing as being a police officer. It's a fucking top job. There's good cops, there is bad cops, and I just feel like there's gotta be a better training, better system, make it harder for them to become cops, and I feel like they get PTSD too, so what happened?
No, I was gonna say there's a reason that they never made a song called "Fuck the Fire Department."
It's true. Hey, fireman departments are pretty cool people, man. Not all of them, 'cause I met a few of them, they're fucking assholes.
So do you think cops should get paid more?
Not if they're acting like this.
Not if they're acting like that. No.
Shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I said it's tough. It's a very tough job, and I don't think it's for everybody. Like, if you're in it legit for money, and then you're such an ass, then you shouldn't be. But it takes a very strong mental. My cousin, he's a police officer. Worked up and became a detective. One of the most.
Does he wear a big old
Uh,
coat? He doesn't wear a big brown coat.
Nah,
No.
he's actually
and a top
fighting.
hat?
He's fighting
He
cancer.
doesn't have he doesn't have a magnifying
No,
glass.
he's actually, dude.
No?
To make it funny.
Suit and
No, this is
tie.
serious. I don't know what he dresses, but I don't know how he dresses, but
Mm.
but yeah, he's fighting cancer and shit like that, and this and that. But he actually solved the Golden Gate murder, the Golden Gate serial killer. He's the one that caught him. No, Golden Gate serial killer. It was a cop that was doing the murders. So he traced him back but he's from Berkeley. But he said he was like he said like that job is not for everybody. You got to be a very compassionate person, and people do get PTSD and shit like that, and it's like he just said it just takes a strong mental person, like not not every person, um is a bad human being, but there are some people that are straight when they arrest, they resist it, like they they don't want to cooperate, and they're they're risking their lives. They don't know if they're gonna come back home. So we
Is that
gotta.
any different than a firefighter or an ambulance? A doctor, like someone that is trying to save someone's life, like
I think I feel like a fireman is like they're going in there, but they're going in a fire where or something they can't control.
then why try to control it? That's the same thing with a cop. Like you should go into a situation you. It should also be when you can't control. Why?
But what
Why do you
happens
have to
when
use force to control?
Yeah, no, I totally
Can't
understand
use
that. Like, I
force
get
as
it.
a
Like, the forces,
firefighter.
because there's cops that I don't know how many. I don't know the stats or anything. But what happens if you do come in? Like, you come in, you're always one of the nicest cops. Boom, boom. You,
When
you
you're just on
happen to have
Pornhub all
that
day.
destined to arrest a person that's such an ass that legit you go up. Can I get your registration? The first thing they do, boom. It's the same thing as a fireman. I mean, yeah, it's true though. Coming in a fire, you just never know you're saving a human being, and you don't find anybody but something falls on your head, and you just. But you're calling, no, you're saving people's
So
lives.
what's the difference? What is the difference between a cop and a firefighter?
I just feel like firemen are more has a. I feel like a fireman. What do you mean a cop has the advantage to make those type of decisions to end a life? Yeah. Cop saves. Fireman saves it. True. But I mean, there's got to be a better training. I just don't think. Another thing is like cops have to. They gotta when their colleagues are acting like assholes. They should tell them like, "Yo, that's fucked up."
So one of the interesting things that I've heard over these past days is cops are only used to enforce the wealth gap. In countries that there's not a big wealth gap, Somalia and
Mhm.
like little third world countries, there's no policing. So everyone kind of shares the wealth and stuff, as opposed
For the
to
cop.
countries of high wealth of where it's only used to protect the wealth. Like if you have a business, you call in the police to protect you if you feel like someone's infringing on your business. You feel like someone's overstepping on your rights. I feel like that's something that has been said is that it's only here to like I said, countries that are third world countries and stuff like that don't necessarily have policing. So do you feel that it's used to control the wealth gap?
This is a possibility. You know what? That might be true because, like, communities are wealthy. They see someone that doesn't fit their community, and go arrest them.
They call the police
They call
and
the
they try
police
to
right away,
enforce
you
it
know,
and
like-
stuff like that because
And
they don't
it's
feel
like an
like they
incident that
belong
happened
to
to me
them.
in Brentwood.
And
Like,
say it's a country that doesn't have that and isn't able.
but that's
to
where it
have
falls.
those-
Where the system is like, yo, they're trained to fucking legit stereotype. You know, I could go to a brand new neighborhood. I'm not a drug dealer, but just because I happen to wear certain type of clothes, I'm gonna get stopped. Which is a sad thing, though. The only time you should get stopped is when legit you did something bad, you know. And a lot of times cops don't even stop you. Cause I've been pulled over and stopped a few times for
But that's the thing is like in countries that are third world and stuff, there isn't that much of a
because there's no
police
wealth, there's
presence,
nothing there to
to be able to control. It.
control, you know.
So do you feel like
Well, it's like,
that's
isn't
a
it
better
Canada
situation,
similar like that?
or do you feel like the current situation that we live in is better? Do you feel like no police would be better, or having this system that we have in place
No,
now?
I feel like no. There has to be a police because
Because they're the only ones that are really
I
stopping
feel like
us
if
from
there
going in
is-
and
if
breaking
there-
shit
yeah, I
and
feel like-
taking shit from the rich, to make it equally
yeah,
wealthy for
but
everyone.
that's the thing though. Like if we have no police, then there's just chaos. Especially here in this country, I just feel like chaos will
Well,
happen.
chaos would only happen for, say, a short period of time. Once everyone has the same amount of money, and there's no reason for you to go and steal someone else's
But that's
money
kind of like
'cause they have the
socialism,
same amount of
communism,
money.
right? That's what you're trying to obviously those
But it's
self
like we're the ones that go and impose that, as opposed to say,
policing
the
our own
government.
selves.
Yeah, well, that's what it like. What it would basically
Well,
be
now that we're in
happening.
that topic, like it's a very tough question because we got to go through that type of situation. I just feel like, in my opinion, I feel like chaos is gonna happen. But if that's why I'm a firm believer. Like, I feel like everybody should have guns, right to bear
So
arms.
David's a Second Amendment, y'all.
Definitely,
We got
I
David's
am.
Second Amendment, y'all.
I am definitely a Second
Second
Amendment.
Amendment, Dave.
That is like one of like legit. I'm definitely 100%. I don't ever want to take a person's life. Don't want to. But when it comes down to protect my family, I'd rather have a rubber bullet. I just don't. But I feel like you should have the right to protect your family. How do you feel about that, Chris? Are you a Second Amendment
I
person?
don't need a fucking gun to protect the family. Fuck that. If you're gonna go down, and we definitely need, like, why can't we go back down to the old ways of settling arguments with fists? If you go and kill someone, you're only causing pain onto someone else. You're only all a gun is with the bullet is a transfer of pain. The pain that you were feeling on your own,
Yeah.
and goes in through that, and then you transfer it when you shoot it onto
No.
someone else. You pass that pain onto someone else and
This
their
is my
loved
mom.
ones.
Yeah.
So that's all it really is, as opposed to when we used to be able to fight
Well,
and be able to go and settle an argument and no one be
well, that's
hurt,
like I said.
and the pain to basically
that's-
end at that moment.
But that's what I
'Cause those
said,
people
though.
can go and argue and walk away. And
Well,
it's
that's
like,
what I
"Okay, we
said. Like,
settled
I'd
it."
rather, if someone's coming in and break to my house, I'd rather
It's a
shoot that
transfer
person.
of pain.
I'd rather shoot that person with a rubber bullet, disable them, and take the weapon out. You know, if that's the last resort. But that's the thing, though. Like, people nowadays, it's not gonna fucking like, for me. Like, legitly, like, I could defend myself 100% without a gun. I don't have a gun. I don't need a gun at the time, but I feel like everybody should have the right to gun. I could defend myself, but not everybody. Not everybody's trained in defending themselves. But the thing is that we have to adapt of what society is nowadays. Everybody's a fucking pussy in real life.
You hear that? You hear that, people? David's calling you as a pussy.
It's true. Like, how many?
Hear it?
I don't know what. Riddell, can you check the stat? No, fuck you fucking piece of shit. No, legit, no, check the stats. How many people know how to actually defend themselves, martial arts skills?
With a 69.
No, nigga. No.
No?
No, motherfucker.
That's a good defense.
Defend themselves with 69?
No. But I'm just saying, like, I totally agree on your point. Like, you should never, ever need to that measure. You know, but there's certain motherfuckers in this world that don't result, that they have a gun, and the only way to do it, they're gonna kill you regardless. And that's the sad part. You could tell a person, yo, fight me.
If you're at
Fist to
peace with
fist?
that decision, though, is like, you know what? Yeah, if this person chose to be a bitch and shoot me with a gun, then that's fine. I'm at peace with, what I.
But that's the thing, though. Like, I don't want, like, you could shoot me, kill me. I don't give a shit. But don't harm my family. That's why I'd rather shoot you with like 3 or 5 bullets, 3 bullets. The last one be, yo, you had 3 fucking chances, and if you didn't get from the 3rd bullet, like, you know what I'm saying?
With this dick.
You just have to settle the consequences. And I'm a firm believer that every man should have the right to protect their family. I don't have a gun. There's a
Well,
reason
that's
why
different.
I don't.
The right to protect your family is different than the right to bear arms.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go walk around with a fucking AK-47. That's no mames. That's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's right to have a handgun at your house. You know, like, everybody should have the right. Like me, like, personally, I'm a firm believer. Yo, go ahead and have your own guns. I'm not against it. I'm not going to. You know, but at the end of the day, you better have the right mindset to legit how to use that, because it's a life-changing thing, you know. And for me, I'd rather just, I'd rather fight you personally, fist to fist.
Well, that's the way things should be.
Like,
So wait,
I don't know if have you, like, I spar, I'm sparring the same thing as going in a boxing match or anything, but like or actual street fight. But I've went
But,
hand to
like,
hand
wrestled.
wrestle, but I've fist fight like boxing wise with another man, and I've
And a woman.
yeah I have actually. It's part- she's raw though, she's
I'm
good.
just kidding.
But anyways, I box, and there's times where we spar, and they weren't sparring matches.
Él no discrimina.
No. Yeah,
Look-
the
look
person
at
was
God.
skilled as hell too. I've been choked out by a girl, fuck, dude, in jiu-jitsu. Well, anyways, but I exchange hands, and there's times when there's people say, oh, it's a sparring match, but there's some sparring matches that no, these ain't sparring matches, legit. These are straight fights, and we're fighting. But at the end of the day, when you're done with that buzzer's over, and we're both done, it's you come to understand another man. You know, like yo, it's different.
And that's what David feels about racism. We're going to be out here boxing, and it's just going to be going down, and at the end of the day, there's going to be understanding of what goes wrong.
That's why I don't believe there's no, ain't no race better than the other.
Sunshine when she is gone.
No race is better than the other race, bro.
Ain't no sunshine.
I've seen all types of races get knocked out by every different types, bro. That's the thing was about martial arts. Did you watch the Bruce Lee, 30 for 30? What'd you think of it?
Yeah, the Bruce Lee 30 for 30 was cool. It was good, and it was nice and informative, and I didn't realize that he was a child actor. I knew he was an actor when he was young. I didn't realize that he was in movies
Dude,
since
I've
he was
been-
little babies and shit.
I've been knowing that since I was a fucking. My dad is a fucking Bruce Lee fan, dude. I seen all his movies from the last one he didn't even finish, where he fights Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the last
they
boss.
released it after, but yeah, Enter the Dragon.
No, it wasn't Into the Dragon. It wasn't Into the Dragon.
I'm pretty sure it was
No, it wasn't Into the Dragon. With Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Yeah.
No,
Which one was it?
that was I think it was the Game of Death. Look it up. The Game of Death.
Nah, Game of Death was the one with Chuck Norris.
No, I think that must have been a different one. I think that's his second or third movie. Into the Dragon was
Bruce Lee's last movie was Game of Death.
with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Come on, boy. I haven't even finished the documentary. I just know my
Between August and October 1970.
yeah, and then he like legit. They had his scenes were his funeral because he faked his death. He faked his death in that movie, and he died. And the irony of that is, in the movie, he dies by getting shot in a scene of a movie he's filming. Because he plays him, I think he plays himself. I can't remember. It's been a while. Well, he gets shot, and that's the way his son died. In a similar scene with a real gun.
Yeah.
In the movie.
And the Crow.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like the one that's. Did I remember that? Have you ever seen that fight scene? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I just seen it on the ESPN.
The full. That was the longest fucking fight scene in a movie, dude. I swear. I remember when my dad rented it, cause my dad was like, I think I was like 9 years old, and that fool was introducing me to Bruce Lee and shit, and he showed me the Fist of Fury and I forgot the other one, and obviously the Enter the Dragon's the one that was, I think made by, it was funded by U.S. by money, American money, but
Yeah, I got a piss.
oh, go ahead. I got a
I
piss
don't
too.
know. I figured you were almost gonna finish the subject
Yeah.
off, and then we could almost. We're hitting 2 hours. I bet.
Yeah, we are, but you know what? We'll talk about that another day.
Yeah. We'll definitely get back to the little Bruce Lee documentary. It was
Little
a nice
Bruce Lee.
little- It was nice little information.
That
It was,
shit was
it was better than the Lance Armstrong one. Not as good as the Michael Jordan one because it wasn't as long. But had it been longer,
That's because
then
you
it might
love
have
basketball.
it
though.
might have been a little bit better. But yeah, we'll definitely we'll see what's up with those little documentary 30 for 30s are cool. Definitely appreciate them. Need of sports at this time. Is there anything else, Laz David, that you want to say? Like I said, this is supposed to be the Killian and COVID Black Lives Matter podcast. So
I guess so. like, we just added my kid. We didn't even add COVID. We just talked about political shit. And yeah, I guess so. I have nothing to say after he said some dumb shit like this. Not dumb, but that was the legit topics.
Those are everything that we tackled
We
today.
did.
I feel
Yeah, we
like.
should have tackled more about the instead of the COVID. We should have just hit the Bruce Lee mark.
We could have did that a little bit. We'll get back to it. We'll see somebody else that sees it, maybe Martin or someone. We get somebody in the pod, and we'll see what's up.
That's if he's
But
into martial arts.
We got more podcasts coming up. This one was, like I said, a little special episode. We wanted to get one in between, in the middle. We didn't think it was gonna happen. We have some statements stuck for when David, had his baby, but we wanted to give you guys something special. We knew you guys have been out there feeding for some new fresh content, so we want to go ahead and let y'all know that I'm sure you guys were wanting to know what David's perspective was on after being a fresh new dad and everything. And
10 days, bro. 10 days.
10 days. So hopefully you guys had a nice little perspective on that. Like I said, is there anything else you want to say, David?
No, I'm good. But Poochie, if you do listen to this, man, we'll try to get you on. I'm pretty sure you're
We'll
back
get
in
him on,
Seattle.
even if it's FaceTime or something.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot. I'm gonna have to hit him up on the. Is he still here or no? He left.
Nah, I think he's back. I think he left.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Pooch, but I got a kid, man. I get used to it. All right, man. Any
All right,
words?
y'all.
Bordell? Nothing?
BLM. All right. This has been the Chris and David podcast. Another episode, y'all. We don't know what episode this is gonna drop it in yet, but we'll see.
I might just drop it this week.
It might just be the next one to drop. All right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Yee.
Yee.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop it.